Welcome back to the Just Us Thinking After Show. I'm Michael.
And I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Mikey.
And we have a good show, but first...
Hey there, I'm Hannah from Wicked Wanderings. If you love diving deep into dark tales, spine-chilling mysteries, and the creepiest corners of true crime, then come wander with us every Wednesday. Each week, we unravel the untold stories that haunt the edges of history and explore the eerie unknowns that keep you up at night. Whether it's a notorious case or a forgotten legend, we've got the chills you're craving. So tune in wherever you listen to podcasts and join our Wicked community, where curiosity is key and wandering is a way of life.
And back to our show here. And this is our to stay or not to stay after show, right?
It is.
So what, we covered all the vacations, right?
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about staycations.
So not to stay was covered earlier. Now It's to stay.
Yes, it is.
So that's a lot of stuff.
It is. We covered a lot of stuff on that one.
Staycays are, I don't know, what are your thoughts on staycations?
I have kind of mixed feelings about them.
I do too.
I think they're good, but I'm more of a not to stay type of person where I'd rather go on a big vacation.
Okay.
But then I'm starting to get like, well, I need these little staycays just to like relax or do something, around here, and that's not the norm. So
gets kind of crazy there, doesn't it? So
it can, yeah. So
now staycations are obviously a lot cheaper.
a
lot cheaper. Now this for staycations. Now these are going to be like your short trips. I want to say mini vacations are. I would say a mini vacation is like a 2 or 3 night deal.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think we do those, but I think there's like just to get away for a day.
Yeah.
Those are I think those would those be like a vacation or a staycation, or are those the bridge?
Oh.
Right? We didn't even talk about that, right?
Yeah, we didn't.
So, I don't know. I mean, like, just, hey, we do that quite a bit. I mean, there's a lot of, the mini vacations that I would say, those were, on the shortest end of mini that you can get, right?
Yeah.
Now, staycations would be, like, going to your local museum.
Right.
Like, getting out of the house just for the day. Mm-hmm. Hitting a winery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See,
we love those.
Yeah. Maybe even going now. People that live down in Kansas City, they have Worlds of Fun.
Yeah.
Des Moines, they have Adventureland.
Right.
So if you live in a town that has a theme park there, I think it's different for them.
Yeah. I mean, and we're pretty fortunate here in Omaha that, both Kansas City and Des Moines not that far away.
Right. So we can do those as a mini vacation. But when I used to live in California, and we had a season pass to SeaWorld. Oh. We could go to SeaWorld every day, and it was like when people came in from out of town, they're like, hey, let's go do SeaWorld. We're like, we just did that yesterday. I mean, can you think of something else to do?
The nice thing would have been to wait until they got there to go.
But you have a season pass. You just you get bored and you go.
Well,
it's like the beach, okay? So
well, I know, but you have people coming in.
I don't care.
Come on.
If they want to go do something, they need to go do something. I mean, so your brother lives on a beach.
Yeah.
He lives close to the beach. So if you call him and say, hey, we're going to come out there next month. So is he going to sit there and go, oh, yeah, we can't go to the beach until they get here because I don't want to do that very often?
No.
No, they're going to live their life.
Yeah.
They're going to do the best that they can do. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm just saying, if your family comes into town and they say, let's go to SeaWorld, you say, okay, let's go to SeaWorld.
You say, go have fun. Let me know how it was.
Okay.
There's a difference between you and me here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I guess if you live close to if you live in I don't know. My mom and my sister, they live really close to Disneyland.
Okay.
They get Disneyland passes all the time.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, they can
that would be fun.
They could literally decide, you know what? I just want to go to Disneyland for a couple hours.
Yeah.
They can.
That would be cool. And then go the next day for a couple more hours and do something different.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's yeah. I mean, that's what you could do
instead of trying to cram it all in one day.
Right. When you live in those cities, I'm sorry, you're a different atmosphere.
Right.
Like what was the? Now I know Chad was talking about it. It was the home of the Nathan's hot dogs. It was Staten Island.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine living right next to Staten Island? Where you could I could go to Staten Island. I could go to that theme park up there anytime.
Coney Island.
Coney Island.
Yeah.
I knew it was an island of some sort. Coney Island. Can you imagine living like that close to Coney Island that you just go to Coney Island?
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people like from us in Northwest were like, oh man, we would go there and like someone from New York would be like, hey, we're going to go to Coney Island. You're like, yeah, so what? Who cares?
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I guess it's different for people.
Okay.
I would assume someone that lives up by Mount Rushmore probably is like, goddamn tourists and that kind of shit. Abby down at the lake. I remember her. Remember her rants.
Yeah. She did not like the tourists down there.
No, it was, tourists disrupt your life. That's part of what happens. And if you live in that kind of town, you're going to get disrupted.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Just part of what it is. And so I guess that you got to understand where you're from. So, like, we have museums here. We go to the museums.
Yeah.
We have what are the museums here?
We have the Joslin Art Museum.
Okay.
We do have the Durham Museum. We have Strategic Air Command.
Oh, yes. I love that.
So that one's always a good one to go to.
Oh, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that we could do here in Omaha. The Joslin Castle.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful place to go. Even just to walk the grounds over there,
right.
Is awesome. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do here to kind of unwind and get away from the house too.
Right.
We also have what's our water park? Funplex,
yeah.
So we have Funplex. So we have this little, and there's putt, and there's all kinds of stuff that you can do just to go out and
have some fun.
Just to go have some fun.
Yeah.
And it's different working and doing that on the weekends than it is actually doing it when you're not working.
Right.
The aspect of not working is what makes these so great, right?
Yeah. It's that time away from the office.
Right. Now, there's also and we all have this too. Part of a staycation is getting stuff done around the house.
Oh, yeah. The dreaded honey-do list.
Yeah. And it's always there. It will always be there.
Yeah.
Okay. So getting some of that stuff done, because a lot of stuff you're like, I'm going to have to get that done. And then you just take a couple days off work and you get it done.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Okay.
But you also, sometimes you just want to, you know what? I know that honey list is there.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be there. Honey do this, honey do that. I know that list is there. There are some times that you just need to say, you know what? Fuck work.
Right.
Fuck chores. Fuck doing all this stuff. Today is a nothing day.
Yep. A veg out and binge watch something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those days are just as important as any other day.
They are, yeah. It's a lot, just, not self-reflection, but just, I can't quite come up with the word I'm looking for right now. But
I know what you're trying to say. Self-reflection is not part of that day.
Yeah.
That's for another day. That's I could see a day of that too.
Okay.
I like to see
maybe?
Huh?
Preservation?
Self-preservation. Yeah.
Okay.
Cuz I would say that would be the word.
Okay. That would be a good one.
It would just be kind of, I know shit's got to get done, but you know what? Just not worrying about it for a day. Worrying about it isn't going to do it. And I know you can get it done, but there's sometimes you just have to say fuck it.
Exactly.
I don't know. And then, of course, here's the next one on my list. I'm okay with this. I used to like this one.
Yeah.
And now...
now we're old.
Now we're old.
It's not as much fun anymore.
It is and it isn't. Helping friends or family doing a task. That could be like... I don't know. What's a good example? I have a couple, but like people would understand. I guess I would.
I don't know, like helping your friend chop down a tree or something.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So if you have a tree that needs to be chopped down, or if he's building a shed, or I don't know, a project that he's working on, and like, okay, yeah, he's redoing the shelves in his basement, or doing something stupid like that.
Yeah.
I could see that's the stuff I like. It gets soured when it's not reciprocated very often,
right?
Or it does. Now I used to really like doing that, and then with my headaches and my migraines, it kind of got to a problem where if I had a headache, I couldn't go do it,
right?
And then,
or if you did it with a headache, you paid for it.
You paid for it later, yeah. And then I don't know. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I do like doing some of that stuff. It's the camaraderie that goes along with it, I think, is kind of nice too, but I don't know.
Yeah. Everything kind of has its pros and cons. So
yeah,
you kind of have
true.
to look at it and, really kind of think about it, I guess.
Yeah. And then, of course, last on our list here is doing a fun hobby or doing something at home.
Yeah.
So that could be, I know people that love trains, so they'll put like a train set together.
I love doing puzzles.
Well, yeah. So now that brings me to a good question. When's the last time you just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to do a puzzle?
It's been a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. When it was slow at work, you had that table in there and you were doing puzzles while you were at work.
Yeah.
Because it was like so slow.
Yeah. Can't do that anymore.
No. And you know what? I don't know if that is a good idea to do.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea.
No. Why not?
Mainly because you're taking something fun that you like to do, and then you're now tying it to work.
Yeah. My problem too is I probably get distracted by the fun I'm having and not actually work.
Right. That's also the problem.
Yeah.
Like my den, before I worked at home, my den was like my Zen room.
Right.
And then when I became a work at home, and then my office kind of took over this space, it changed it. It changed its meaning, and it changed its.
Yeah.
I look at this room differently now.
Oh. Okay.
I just don't. It's not. I kind of dread coming in this room sometimes now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's kind of why I said I wanted that podcast studio built, and I would like to take that out so I could either reclaim my Zen room down here or do something else here. I don't want it associated anymore.
Okay. That would make sense.
So,
I can see that.
Now, this could also be like, I don't know, any hobby that you have. It could be like foraging or
gardening,
or anything that you like to do that just kind of helps you, I guess, get through the day normally.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm really, really torn on that.
Okay.
Now, I don't have a whole lot of I guess I don't have a whole lot of hobbies that I would like. I'm not a gardener.
Right.
I don't have a green thumb.
I don't either.
Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to have a green thumb.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like I have the time with everything else I do.
Exactly.
Nor do I have the patience to watch, something like that and do it.
Yeah.
I guess that's my problem.
Okay.
Now, I wouldn't mind going out there and like building something or doing something like that. I mean, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now, I'm hoping I could get back to some of that stuff once my honey-do list goes down some.
Okay. Me too. I was just thinking we should have like built in like a puzzle thing in that table out in the podcast studio. So I could go out there and do puzzles and just keep it,
You are trying. Listen, I don't know how I feel about that. No, wait. Hold on. I bought you this like rolling thingy.
I know.
Have you ever used it?
No, I did once. Yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
I bought you a present that you used once. It's like this mat that you could, when you're building puzzles, you could roll it up so you could save it for later, right?
Yeah. The cat still messed with it though, so.
Okay.
It didn't quite serve its purpose, but.
So, what if? Okay, so here's to solve our problem. What if I built you a puzzle box?
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
So a box that you could like do a puzzle in and then put a lid on so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about out in the podcast studio. Like just...
It's not going to be built into the table.
Okay. Darn it.
You're not going to get that. That's not going to happen.
I know.
I'm not going to do anything. I would have to completely rebuild a new table.
I know.
I'm not going to do that.
No.
That's not going to happen.
No.
And not only that, but if I'm out there trying to do stuff, this is part of the problem that I have. Your office is your office, right?
Yeah.
I don't go in there and hang out at all.
Okay.
Do I?
No, not really.
If you're in there, I'll go in there and sit in there with you for a moment.
Yeah.
But I don't decide, randomly to say, yeah, I just want to go sit in this room. And that was my den for the longest time.
Yeah.
And now that's why I'm building the podcast studio. So it could be for podcasting and for my space.
Okay.
So you're not invading my space.
What?
No.
Okay.
You come out there when we're recording, but I kind of want that as a different space.
Okay.
So I don't know, because I think with the other projects that we're doing, my den is going to be turned into something else. We already know that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a workroom. It's going to be a crafting room is what it's going to end up being.
Yes, it is.
So, and I have a feeling we're all going to be in here and doing back and forth and back and forth.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to eventually completely lose my den. So that doesn't mean that, I don't know, creating space within your space that you live in that's yours, I think is important.
It is, yeah.
This is why that's why we don't, in the den here, your office isn't down here.
Right.
With my office, we could have easily put up a partition.
Oh, yeah.
But we didn't do that because we wanted our separate space.
Exactly.
So part of, and that's part of what vacations are, is part of vacations are resetting the space. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because we each have, it's territory, and it's a, territorial disputes all the time.
Okay.
It happens. When you're on vacation, you kind of help reset that. You go to neutral territory. Okay.
Okay.
That way you're not on your turf, my turf, or it's a neutral territory. It's Sweden. Okay.
Okay.
Staycays, you don't necessarily have that.
Yeah, you don't.
So it's important to, when you live with someone and you're doing stuff with other people, even though you're kind of on top of each other, you kind of have to have your own space sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. My problem with that is, let me know that's what you want. If you're, and that's communication's the biggest problem when it comes to that. If you're doing a staycay and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to lock myself up in my room. I'm going to do puzzles. I'm just going to do this kind of shit. I'm okay with that. Just tell me that's what you're going to do.
Okay. So I'm going to go do that this afternoon.
Well, no, you have other shit to do. See, that you can't just hide yourself away when there's other shit that we're supposed to be doing too, right? Yeah. See, there's the difference.
Okay.
But I mean, if you say, "Hey, you know what? Next Saturday I'm going to veg out. I'm going to go in my office. And I'm going to watch stupid love videos or whatever it is." You could do that. Just give the other person a heads up so they don't, I don't know, bug you or anything.
Yeah.
All right. Heads up are always good.
Yeah, heads up are really nice.
Especially when it's a staycation. Mm-hmm. I mean, staycations have their place as well as vacations.
Yeah, they have their pros and cons.
The pros and cons, but I think they're both needed. I want to say, when you're thinking about taking a vacation and or a staycation, I don't want to say you should have to choose one or the other. You should try to plan for both.
Yeah, and there's so much planning that goes into both vacations and staycations. Obviously more on a vacation than there is a staycation. Yeah. But, I mean, that takes a lot of time to kind of plan those things out, and
yeah. But what I'm saying is I think both of them are necessary.
Yeah. They're both necessary.
I don't think you should say, oh, I'm just going to take vacations and ignore staycations.
Yeah.
Because I think to be a very well-rounded for your time out of work, I think you kind of need both.
Yeah, I can see that.
So now we did it for the vacations. We're going to do it for the staycations here.
Okay.
What is your favorite staycation activity?
Ooh. Gosh, I don't know.
You don't have one?
No.
Like ever? What like what, you know, I know you're not gardening, but
yeah.
Would it be a puzzle or
probably a puzzle or just I don't know, maybe just taking a drive and get away from the house, get in the car and just drive for a little bit.
Go watch airplanes take off?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know
Yeah.
you like that. So
I do, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that you could do. That's a pretty good little, I'm just going to do that.
Yeah.
Some people going to the pool or,
that's
I'm
always
just going
a good one.
I'm going to go sit out in the backyard and just sit out there.
Okay. What about you?
I think mine, my favorite used to be building something.
Okay.
I think it's changed through the years. I think I've done, I guess it depends on my mood. And like, if I have a lot of projects, I don't want to do something that's project related.
Yeah.
I want to say one of my favorite, and I just did it.
Okay.
I went back and I watched some of the Marvel movies.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to watch 3 or 4 of these movies. And I went back and I find some inspiration in stuff I watch.
Okay.
And sometimes I just like to watch a movie. I like to turn on the TV and just go to La La Land.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually kind of like that every once in a while too. So
yeah. My problem that I run into is there's a lot of movies that I like.
Deciding on which one to watch.
Yeah. No, that's not my problem actually.
No.
My problem isn't that. My problem is I'm like, I want this kind of genre. This is where we're at.
Okay.
I'm going to do that.
Right.
And then I'm going to, like, as I go down that rabbit hole, I'll find a movie that I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. My problem is once I start a bad movie, I have to finish it.
Yeah.
And I'm
kind of like
there,
that Cocaine Bear movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I just did that with whatever I don't even know the name of the movie I watched. It was horrible. You could tell it was not.
Was it that time traveling one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Did you yeah.
I was trying to, and I was like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, you were like, no, good night. And I'm like, at that point, here's the problem. I got so far committed into the movie that I'm like, I was waiting for it to get good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've already committed this time. I have to finish it now.
Right.
And then I got it finished, and it ended. It was one of the worst ending movies I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
It ended, and like it started rolling the credits, and it started showing previews for the next movie. And I'm like, wait, whoa, what did I had to go back and like rewind a little bit to see how it ended.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? How do you? Here's what it reminded me of. It to me that was a B movie.
Okay.
Or a C movie. It
probably
was
a C. It was pretty bad.
It might have been a D or an E movie at this point. I've been for research for the podcast and all this, lighting, camera angles, and stuff that I'm always looking at, trying to improve and stuff like that for us.
Okay.
So I watch movies and I see, I'm looking for that stuff. I'm looking, okay, how did they do the lighting? How did they do this? How did they do that? What premise? Because lighting can make it. There's so much in that.
It's
crazy.
It's crazy. Like some of the videos that we watched about it, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would have never thought.
Right. And now because I know that, I watch those movies. I'm like, oh, that's how they made this guy look like he was a bad guy. And that's how they could change villains to good guys to bad guys. Just lighting sequences and shit like that. Lighting and color.
There's so much.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this movie and I'm like, okay, there, I could see this, I could see that. I could, so I'm kind of examining the movie because it's not an interesting movie, okay?
Yeah.
I was bored with the movie, so I'm like, I'll use it as an experiment to see what they were doing.
Okay.
And I think they ran out of budget, and we're out of budget. Oh, that's a good ending. It had to have been it.
Cut.
Yeah. Cut. Okay. Ready for the next scene? Oh, no. We ran out of money. That was it. It was horrible, but I was stuck.
Okay.
But that's my kind of, I don't know. And I rewatched the Iron Man movies. I watched Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, and then I went into the Avengers.
Oh, okay. Yep. I remember.
So, I guess I'm on a tech kick right now.
Okay.
So with a tech kick, I was like, Iron Man is kind of the ultimate tech guy.
Yeah.
And his ability to adapt and change is I kind of model a little bit of that. So
okay.
I'm constantly looking at something and how to make it better. And it's an evolving door. And because I'm doing the podcast studio, I'm constantly going, okay, what's the best to use for this? What's the best for that? And kind of going through options. And variables.
And your mind never shuts down, so you're screwed.
Yeah. That happens, and that's why staycations kind of need to get you away from that.
Yes, they do.
Because there's a lot of times you have to walk away from, like, especially if you're bad, if work is that bad where you're going, oh my God, I can't stand this anymore. Sometimes stepping away and getting a new light and coming back to it, that's what's supposed to happen. The problem is work just keeps getting worse and worse sometimes.
It does, yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of what it is, but yeah.
It is what it is.
It is. So I guess the point of our conversation on this one would be use your vacation.
Yep. Take your vacation time, people.
Yep. Make sure you take your vacation time. It's yours. Use it the way you want to do it. If you want to plan that big trip, take it. If you just want to take a couple mini vacations, do it. Even if you have nowhere to go and say, I don't want to do a big vacation this year, so I'm not going to still take the time off work.
Yep.
They gave it to you. Work will still be there. Trust me.
And you'd be surprised at things, you could find in your hometown that you didn't know existed.
Yeah.
I mean, we did. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, Hastings was a couple hours from us, right?
Yeah.
I had no idea that's where Kool-Aid was made.
I didn't either.
I didn't realize that was a home. Kool-Aid was invented in Hastings, Nebraska.
I had no idea either. So
I had no idea they had a whole museum.
Yeah.
Let alone that there was a statue out there I could molest.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yep.
And I molested the hell out of the Kool-Aid guy.
You did.
Give him a little sugar is what I did. No. If you like what we say, like what we do, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. All those comments, likes, that actually helps drive our show and our content.
Yep. And then you can listen to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Samsung, and YouTube Music.
Yep. And make sure you like, subscribe on those platforms as well. All of them have a place where you can leave a comment. You could always give us a comment. You could always say what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah, good or bad.
Good or bad. We're going to listen. We'll hear it. Let me put it that way. Whether we're going to listen to it or not is a whole nother story. But we love the feedback, whether it's good or bad.
Okay.
And you could do that on YouTube, Rumble, and we're also on TikTok. So pretty much every platform, right?
Yep, we're all over the place. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So here's the problem. We're recording this on a Sunday, and this is it.
Yeah.
This is it for our vacation.
It is.
This one was a staycation.
I got to go back to work tomorrow. Yeah.
I got to go back to work tomorrow. I don't want to go back to work tomorrow.
I don't either.
What happened to that recovery part?
I know.
I want that recovery that you were talking about.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm on vacation, so I should only get half the phone calls tomorrow.
Yep.
Half day? Ooh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be a good idea. If you come back on vacation, schedule a couple half days.
Yeah.
Instead of taking an extra day, schedule a couple half days. Ooh, see? Ideas galore.
Yep.
Good show?
Good show.
All right, let's head out.
All righty. Bye, everybody.
If you like paranormal, true crime, and some cryptids, or just anything weird, check out Ouch, Was That a Ghost? Brought to you by your host, Liz. You can find Ouch, Was That a Ghost on Spotify, Apple, or any audio platform. New episodes drop every Thursday.